welcome to my YouTube channel, guys. I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying learning something out of my videos. So in this video, I'll talk about dictionary in Python. We'll understand in depth what is dictionary, why it is important, how we are using dictionary inside the Python. So let's get started. Let me share my screen and understand each and everything of dictionary. So I have created one IPynb file especially for the dictionary, and I'll write all the codes over here and I'll push this to GitHub repo, and I'll give the link of this video in the video description. So whenever you need, you can download this IPynb file and you can use for you. So now what is dictionary? So dictionary is an inbuilt data type in Python which store the element in form of key and value. It is mutable and unordered. So you will be confused that we already have a list, we have already tuple, then why do we need a dictionary? So in list and tuple, you can store the value in by indexing, right? In the series, you can store, but there is no meaning of those values. So let's say I have defined one list, or let's say I have defined one tuple, and later on if I ask that what kind of data it is not having any tag is nothing but it's not having any meaning of that, but dictionary serving that purpose over here. So let me define and you will understand that how dictionary serve that purpose of meaning of any data. So I'll write over here first variable, let's say student equal to, I'll take a curly braces, because dictionary always start with the curly braces with key and value. So I'll write over here key as a name, and I'll define, let's say Prashant, perfect. And then let's say I'll define age 25, comma, and let's say I'll start and write over here skill as well in the form of list. So I'll write over here Python, comma, let's say ML, comma, let's say Gen AI. Perfect. So I have given three key over here: name, age, and skill. Corresponding to name, I have Prashant, that is value. Age is again key and 25 is value. Skill is again a key and the list of value I have given. So you can say that I have given the value in form of list. Perfect. So now let me execute this, and now let's try to understand what is the type of this student. So type is dictionary. Perfect. So again, dictionary is the key and value over here. So name, age, and skill is the key, and corresponding to that we have a value. So now what are the rules to define any dictionary? Rules to define dictionary. Very first rule is that your key must be unique. First. Second, your key can be str, means a string, it can be int, it can be float, and it can be tuple as well. So in the above dictionary, the key is str and the value is str, integer, and list. Perfect. The next rule is that your item or let's say value can be anything, means any kind of a data, any type of data. So as I have given, is first one is a string, second is a integer, and third one is the list. So these are the rules to define any dictionary, and it always start with the curly braces. Now let's say that if I give a same key twice, let's say I'll write over here again this name, perfect, comma, and name, and I'll pass over here, let's say David. If I execute this, what is going to do that? Now if you try to print the student, you will understand that name is David, age is 25, skills. So the above key value has been override by the last one. That's why the key always should be unique. Correct. So you understand what is dictionary. Now the important part is that why do we need a dictionary? We already have a list, we already have a tuple and other data type. Then why do we need a dictionary? So whenever you go for a full-fledged software development, or whenever you see any kind of application, we always see that data flow from your client to server. Client is nothing but your front end to the back end. So now assume that we have a one form. In the form, we are passing a name, age, and skill, and name, age, and skill. So that data your front end will capture and it will pass to the back end to store into any database. So you will pass the data in one by one. It's not like you are passing in bulk. Yeah, there is a that possibility that you can upload any excel data and you can pass the data in form in bulk as well. But just a form, in if you are passing any data, it will be one by one, right? And backend API, fast API, will capture those data and store into the database. So over here, your each and every forms have a tag. The above will be name, then age, then skill. And in the backend also, whenever you will JSONify or capture those values in terms of using the fast API, there you will create a dictionary. So each value will have a meaning and then you will pass that into the database, right? Now the other form is JSON. JSON is also a semi-structured data where we have a data in form of key and value, so that every data have a meaning over here. So dictionary have a more uses in the software development whenever you are writing a full-fledged of a code. Even in the fast API also we use the dictionary. So these are the main work of any dictionary that serve inside the Python, right? So now we'll understand more about the dictionary over here. So now if you want to define any empty dictionary, so define an empty dictionary. So what I'll do, I'll write my dict equal to and curly braces. Perfect. Now what I'll do, I'll just type and check that what is the type of this. So this is dictionary. So this is how you can define any empty dictionary as well. So what is the use of this empty dictionary? Why do we define that? We will see once we'll move forward, but not today. So just understand this is how we can define any empty dictionary where the type of this variable is dictionary, but there is no any value in that. Perfect. So now let's try to define a full-fledged dictionary. So I'll write over here my dict equal to name. Perfect. And this time I'll pass the name in form of list. So we have a multiple name, let's say, okay, David, let's say Kushal. Next, let's say we have a Asutosh. Okay. Next, we'll find again age. And age, I'll let's say 20, 30, 40, comma 40, comma 50. Perfect. So if you see that I have a 4 name and 4 what age, but let's say that I'll pass one less age. What is going to happen? We'll see that. Now let's say a skill. I'll pass the skill Python. Now let's say I'll pass the email Prashant at the rate gmail.com. Perfect. Now I'll pass, let's say, over here, and now let's pass over here pin code 23456. So this is the complete full-fledged dictionary I have defined, where I have a different type of a data type in the value. Now let's say I want to access the name. So how we can access only name? So I'll write over here my dict, and I'll pass over here name. So like this, you can access the value corresponding to that key. Perfect. Now, as I have mentioned over here, key as a name, I get the all the value corresponding to that in form of list. But let's say if any of the any one value I want to access, so I can pass now over here 0 or I can pass over here 1 to access any of the name. Okay, so what it is, you will say that can we pass the index value as well in the dictionary? So as soon as you pass the key inside your dictionary, it return the value, and that value is list. So if you try to understand that what is the type of this dict of name, so it will try to show that it is the list, and list you can slice using the index. Perfect, because your value is a list. I think you understand index to identify or access any of the single element out of it. If you want, let's say, to reverse this, that also you can do. See, perfect. Now I want to access, let's say, age. So I'll pass over here age. This is age. Okay. But in this, if you see, I have a 4 different name, but age is 3. I want to enter one more age. So how we can do that? That is possible. You can use over here append, and you can pass, let's say, 50. So it will append the, okay, it should be append over here. Okay, so it will append the 50 into the last of the this list. So now if you check, you have a 50 at the end. If you check the dictionary, you have also the 50 in your dictionary. So how this append working over here? See, as you know that my age is the key and the value is the list, and list you can use the append. So that's why we have used the append over here and appended the 50 inside that. Hope it's clear, guys. Now let's say I want to access the skill. So again it is same. So I'll take this and I'll pass a skill, and you have the skill over here. Now this is how you can access the any of the element using the key. Now I want to change the any of the element of the value. So let's say that I have a in age 40 over here. I want to make this 45. So how we can do that? So I write my dict, and I'll pass over here age. Perfect. And over here I will assign 45. If you assign 45, is going to work? No. Why? Because my age is in the dictionary is set of list. Correct, it is a list. So if you assign directly 45, so it will directly assign over here 45 corresponding to this list. So this list will get eliminated, and 40 corresponding to age 45 will get assigned. But I don't want that. I want, instead of 40, it should be 45. So we have to access that element first, then we can assign that. So as soon as you let's say access age, you have the list of the age. Now I want to assign corresponding to this 40, and I know that 40 is the second index. So I'll write over here 2. So as soon as you write 2, you have accessed that 40 age. Now you can change to 45. Now if you try to access this, you have a 45 here. Similarly, let's say instead of a skill, instead of Python, you want to make this, let's say, ML or Gen AI. So how we can do that? So again, my DICT, and over here, let's pass the skill, and outside, instead of a skill Python, I will pass, let's say, ML. You will see that over here I am just passing the value, but here I have passed first index then value. Why? Because it is a list, and I don't want to change the entire value of the list. Instead of list, I don't want to pass 45 as an integer, but over here this is just a one string, so we can directly pass over here ML and it will work. This is how you can access and you can update any of the element inside the dictionary, right? Now let's say that instead of David, I want to write a Ganesh. Okay, so change David to Ganesh. So just comment out that how you can change this David to Ganesh. Pause the video, do it, and give your answer into the comment. Perfect. So let's move to the next line of code. I'll write here m1 equal to, let's say, cloud AWS. Okay. Over here, let's say CICD, and over here I'll write, let's say GitHub action. Okay. GitHub action. And over here, let's say I'll pass language, let's say Python. Okay. So now what I want, that I want this dictionary to be appended to my first dictionary. So first let's execute this. So this is my dictionary. So how you append into your first dictionary, that is my dict. So just write over here my dict dot update, and you just pass the dictionary, and it will get appended all the value, you can say, or you can say that it will get updated your second dictionary into the first one. You can see over here, right? Now let's understand how we can remove the item from the dictionary. Okay, so now I want to remove this pin code from this dictionary. So what I'll do, I'll write a del, and I'll pass my dictionary name over here, and then I'll pass this key, that is pin code. So pin code. Now let's try to execute this dictionary and see that it has deleted or not. So you will see in your updated dictionary that this pin code has been removed. Perfect. Now I will use the another method to remove any of the items. So I'll just write pop. Pop, I think you are aware of that because we have used multiple times. So I think we need to pass, let's say, cloud inside this. So this is the another method. You can delete any of the element from there. So what is the difference in that? So if you see del my dict, if you pass any key, it is not going to return what is the value inside this, but it will delete. But if you use the pop and you pass key inside that, it will delete as well as it will return also what was the value inside this. Now there is another method to delete anything from the last of the your dictionary. So that is my dict dot pop item. See, the very last one has been deleted. Perfect. Now if you want to, let's try to see again your dictionary. So it, see, the very last one was the CICD, that has been removed. Now if you want to clear the entire dictionary, so what you will do, my dict dot clear, and it will clear your entire dictionary and will create make it empty. So this is how you can remove your items from the dictionary, or you can clear the complete dictionary. Perfect. So now we will understand the nested dictionary, how one dictionary can be inside your next dictionary. So let me write over here user equal to, I'll write over here name equal to, let's say, Prashant. Now I'll write skill, and this skill should not be equal to, it should be double dot, because we cannot write equal to inside the dictionary. Okay, now this skill will be the key is string, but the value will be dictionary, and this is called the nested dictionary, guys. So I'll write over here a skill, let's say in that language, and in the language I will pass, let's say, multiple language in form of list. Python, let's say Java, let's say SQL. Now next, I will pass over here, let's say database. So over here I'll write again list MySQL and MongoDB. Perfect. Now let's say I'll write over here OS, and over here let's say Linux. Perfect. Right. Now again I'll write over here, let's say AI. Inside the AI, what are the things we have? Just write in terms of list over here. So ML, deep learning, and we have a Gen AI. Okay. So in this, the skill is the key and the value is in form of dictionary. So this is called the nested dictionary. Inside one dictionary, we have another dictionary. Okay, even we can make it more nested as well. So inside the, let's say, second dictionary, we can write the third one. So if you want, let's say, let's write over here. I want to write over here what address. But inside the skill, writing an address is not making any sense. So what should I write, guys? What should I write over here? You write over here soft skill. Let's say soft skill, and this should be a dictionary. And inside the dictionary, the key is, let's say, team building, collaborative work. Let's say, and over here language. This language is different, guys. Language over here, I'll write, let's say, English. Well, now let's try to print this. And over here, let's take this user and try to see the value of this. So see, inside this skill, we have a dictionary from here till here. And inside this skill, we have one dictionary, we have another dictionary as well. So this is a three layer of the dictionary. So let's try to access one by one each of them. So first, let's say user, I'll write this skill over here, and you can find this dictionary. Now, let's say I want to access this language out of this. So I'll write the language and you have this one. Or let's keep this over here so I can take the reference of this. So now I'll copy this, and over here, let's say language. So I'll pass the language over here. Should be perfect, right? Now, let's say I want to access the skill. So I'll pass over here. I'll pass this soft skill over here. So skill, inside that soft skill, we have a this dictionary. Now, if I want to execute and get this, let's say, this language, so I can just pass over here and we can get this English. And if you want to make some other language, let's say I'll pass Hindi, we can also do that. Now, if you try to print this, you will have a language as a Hindi. Perfect. Now, if you want to delete the entire dictionary, so del, and you just pass the user over here. So it has been deleted. Now, if you just see, name user is not defined. So this is all about the dictionary, guys. If you like this, and if you found this video very informative, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with others so they can also get benefited out of this video. So thank you so much. Stay connected. Let's connect in the next video again.